Here we go again. I actually replaced a good chunk of the front suspension a few years back before our big road trip to Utah, as you can see on the finish of these tie rod ends. The wheel bearings were included using some brand new NTN bearings from Japan. At first glance, you would think that I just ripped another axle seal. I just ordered another set to replace the axles anyways, but upon further inspection, it appears that the grease is coming from the wheel bearing itself, which makes sense with all the back and forth wheel movement that we just saw earlier. So when I did my lift kit, I broke one of the most important rules when it comes to lifting Subarus, and that was going over 2 inches. Even by just a little bit, I still went over 2 inches. See, these coils right here are from a 2004-2006 Subaru Baja. That means it has a higher spring rate than the 2003s did, so that raised it by 1 inch. And these spacers sitting on top are from Tema 4x4. It was a Russian lift kit company that was selling on Amazon, and I ordered 40mm spacers, and those come out to be 1.5 inches. So, plus the coils, plus those polyurethane spacers, put it at 2.5 inches of overall lift in the front, which felt pretty good at the time, but I started blowing through axles like no tomorrow. Bought this thing, I put the lift kit on maybe within a year, so I've been driving it this way for about 4 years now, and it seems that I had to replace the axles at least once a year. Even with these Car Done HD axles, they were still ripping boots. And that's kinda the issue we had with this guy right here, and throwing grease literally all over every component. I don't even know how it got on the sensor, but it also was throwing ABS light codes every now and then as well. So I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack from it, but I bought a pair of quick struts, and hear me out. These are the Monroe Roadmatic quick struts, and I am not proud of it. This is gonna be temporary for the Subaru. Not only would I have to rebuild the KYB top hat, but the spring perch is the original spring perch, and you can see it is extremely rusty. And now I won't have to deal with trying to separate the coil and putting on that 04 lifted coil. So my little poly spacer up top is gonna lower the car a full inch, putting it right at 1.5 inches of lift. So it is going to be, unfortunately, a little lower, but like I said, this is only temporary. I am trying to save up for the Raceworks Overland coilovers that will do a 2 inches of natural lift by itself, but unfortunately with my budget, this is all I have to work with at the moment. I put those KYB shocks on, like I say, 4 or 5 years ago, and probably 60,000 miles ago. So I have definitely got my use out of them. But hopefully they will help the car ride a little bit better than those current shocks on there. And getting below that 2-inch mark will save all my axles. So it turns out nobody, no shop out there likes to change these old Subaru wheel bearings. I had to go to 3 different shops, got turned down at 2, and then the 3rd shop, they actually messed up the snap ring a little bit. Then it had a lot worse play in it than when I took it in. So they had to put a different snap ring in it, but now there is no more play in it whatsoever, and everything is solid and fixed once again. So I originally went with an NTN bearing because those were supposed to be the original manufacturer of Subaru wheel bearings. But apparently with any of these old press-in wheel bearings, there's like a 30, 40, 45% chance that it's gonna fail right from being pressed in. So this time I picked up a Timken bearing, and as you can see right here, it may have said Timken on the box, but this is a Koyo bearing made in Japan. So that's also another really high quality bearing that I'm going to be putting in here, and hopefully going to have a lot better luck. Unfortunately, the passenger side was kind of leaking around there. It had the same seals as the ones I put in last time. These are Timken seals and Timken bearings. So honestly, time will tell how these are going to hold up. The front end is about 1/2 inch below what is usually accepted by Subarus and their CV axles. The look isn't initially that noticeable, but I will miss being able to get the maximum off-road potential out of this vehicle. This is only temporary until I can get some racework coilovers, and who knows, maybe they will even sponsor an off-road expedition in the future. Hey, who's gonna clean up all this mess?